It was the 31st of December, 2020. I was sat in my parents' living room, reliant on them to support my education abroad at university. And all of my friends were out partying, obviously, New Year's Eve. And I was just sat there having failed about 3 businesses that I was trying to build, 3 businesses, during university. And I had no real plan for how I was going to build this billion-dollar company. But all I knew was that I was put on this planet to build something. So it wasn't about making it a big outcome. It was about building something of your own. A lot of the times, having grown up in the sort of culture that we grew up in, we have this one question that's always thrown at us. And that's, what will people think? What will people think if you build a company, if you post your reels online? And that was kind of what was going through my mind. But on that day, I decided that I would no longer care what people thought of me. And I posted this video on YouTube about 4 years ago. Company's about 4.5 years old. So the origins of what will people think and how it translates into different languages. In Hindi, you say, log kya kahenge. In Malayalam, you say, nataga rendu vicharikum. And in Arabic, you say, mada sayakul al-nas. And it's actually, it transcends into all of our different cultures, and it comes from this tribal sort of mentality that we had almost thousands of years ago, where approval meant safety. But we're in a time now where disapproval doesn't mean we're going to die. But what it does mean is that you're really stopping yourself from being the fullest version of yourself. And what you see in terms of how it transcends into entrepreneurship and things like that today is more than half of the people that want to start businesses are too scared to start businesses, not because they lack talent or resources, but because they're scared of failure. And more importantly, they're scared of what other people will think of their failure. So I want to talk about how this sort of shows up today. Let's say you're sitting in the audience today, you're a student who is an artist, you put out a lot of your artwork or want to put out a lot of your artwork, but you're too worried about the likes it's going to get on Instagram. You're an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, and you're too scared to launch your business because you're worried about failing in public. You're a teacher, you're a banker, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor who are too scared to leave their job effectively because of the prestige associated with your job, or because of what people will think, because of the fact that you left such an esteemed career. And that's what I like to call the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect being, you think that everything in this world revolves around you. You think that this whole planet spins around you. And that's actually very common. We all think that. But the truth is, nobody cares. The truth is that nobody cares what you do, nobody cares what you become. Everyone's too busy, caught up in their own spotlight. And that's what takes up a lot of their attention. So coming back to my turning point, I was 6 months away from graduation, did not have a visa to stay in the UK beyond that. I had just withdrawn all of my graduate job applications, as you saw earlier, and didn't really have a plan, and all of my friends thought I was crazy because I went to one of the best universities in the world for economics and finance, and I could have had a career in investment banking, in consulting, and I said, no, I'd like to go and work 2 part-time jobs straight out of university, crash on my friend's couch for a month, because I'm going to go out and build a billion-dollar company. And that was kind of crazy. All of my friends asked me, are you sure you want to do that? You sound crazy. I don't think this is going to go the way you want, but I think you should. I can refer you here, et cetera, Everyone that came from a good intention, but all I could hear was, are you crazy? And I'd like to give you a few examples of people who are also crazy, or deemed to be crazy. You're looking at the Wright brothers, You're looking at Marie Curie, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. You're looking at Elon Musk, who made my car, and a few other rockets and electric cars. And these people were once misunderstood. And quite frankly, all of those same people that were bystanders and naysayers, the people that asked you, are you crazy, are the ones now that idolize these same individuals. So how do we channel the what will people think fear into a framework to really make it our superpower? And I call it the ARC framework. A, for acknowledging the voice inside your head, whether it's your own that's asking you, what will people think, or whether it's your dad or your mom's that's asking you, what will people think inside your head. I need you to acknowledge that. I need you to believe that it exists and that you do have this fear of social shame, of judgment, of whatever it might be. The second part is to redefine your audience, to stop thinking about it in the version of what will my present self think, and start thinking about it in the context of what will the 80-year-old version of myself think if I don't actually do this? Because most people in their last moments of life are sad about the things or regret the things that they didn't do, not the things that they did do. So redefine your audience. And finally, compound your courage. I think a lot of us think that we need to do this big thing that makes the news, that's on TechCrunch and Forbes and all of these kind of things, and that's amazing. But really the first step is to put that one post out, to take that one step in the right direction. And that's where courage compounds. You don't become, jacked with a six-pack overnight. You do that with the course of a lot of hard work over a long period of time, and from going to the gym and doing the boring thing of lifting that one or two dumbbell. I don't really know my gym stuff, but you get the rough idea. So the next time you hear, what will people think? I want you to smile, because you're about to grow. You're about to do something that you've never done before, and you're about to enter a completely new chapter. And what I want you to remember is, you shouldn't feel the pressure to put this perfect version of yourself out there, but I want you to put out an authentic version of yourself out there. Because one day, whether it's someone in the audience today or someone online, they're going to look at you and say, I'm so glad that he or she had the courage to be the most authentic version of themselves. So maybe the world is watching, not to judge you, but to see if you had the courage to take things to the next level. Thank you.